it's a breathing exercise. That's one part, and the other part, and also using visualization to incorporate the breath and seeing it so that you connect the body together again. So breathing, when we get stressed, the first thing that usually happens is stressed or scared, slightly worried, is we'll tighten up our chest, hold our breath, so our main breathing muscle, the diaphragm, which is here, dome, gets tight and sits quite restricted, and we start to breathe from our upper chest. So instead of in normal breathing, what should happen is when you breathe in, the diaphragm drops down. As you breathe out, it comes back up again. So when you're anxious and you hold your breath down here, you start breathing more from your upper ribs and you breathe more from here. The problem is that your breathing is more shallow and therefore potentially more rapid than it should be, which agitates you and your nervous system slightly more. And secondly, you might develop a lot of tension around the neck here because you're overusing the accessory muscles of respiration instead of using the big diaphragm, which we should do in quiet breathing. Would normally just use that. This is also called diaphragmatic breathing. So the first bit would be to just start to breathe from your diaphragm again, using your diaphragm. In using it, you also help to loosen it off again. So you will loosen it off, you will calm your nervous system down, and that should help to calm you down as well. So the first bit, you can, if you're not used to breathing from your stomach, would be just to put one hand onto your chest and the other hand onto your stomach. Now, in quiet breathing, using your diaphragm, as you breathe in, the diaphragm descends, which means your belly will stick out a little bit more. So when you breathe in this exercise, this hand should not move, but this hand should start to be pushed out by your belly as your diaphragm, your big breathing muscle, drops down. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So if you're not familiar with this type of breathing, you can just practice this. And this you can do anywhere. You can stand while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, standing by the stove, sitting down, wherever you are. You can just take a couple of minutes, placing both hands, one hand onto your chest, one hand onto your tummy, to see that you breathe down into your stomach so that you stop breathing, and this hand not moving, so you stop breathing from up here. And just those 2 minutes might help to calm you down. Now the second part that I often add is a visualization that I'm breathing all the way down, in breath coming down through my chest, down through the diaphragm, and then connecting down to my pelvic floor, down into here. My pelvic floor is like a muscular ball that sits at the bottom of my pelvis here, holding my pelvic organs in against gravity. And also if I do things like coughing or sneezing, it helps to maintain the pelvic organs in their place. So it sits here, but it works together in normal breathing with the diaphragm as well. As in inhalation, what happens to the pelvis is you inhale, here the pelvic floor flattens out a little bit as well, and your pelvis widens slightly to the sides, and you exhale, the sides climb slightly in, and the bowl is becoming a little bit deeper. Similarly, the diaphragm again, you inhale, the dome flattens out, the ribs move out to the sides, and you exhale, the ribs come in, and your dome comes higher up. So the two together should do the same thing. So as you inhale, both of these domes and bowl structures should flatten out slightly. And as you exhale, they become a little bit deeper again. Now the visualization part, as you breathe in, breath coming in, inhale, inhale, diaphragm out, the breath comes further down, gets to your pelvic bowl and to your pelvic floor. That flattens out as well. And the exhalation lets everything come back up as well. Because the other thing that happens when we're scared or worried is we tuck our tail in. So the tailbone comes in, the pelvic floor often ends up very tight and rigid. So this should help on the physical level to just help release those two muscular structures, but also connect yourself, connect your body from the top down. So you don't feel like it's all stopping here and everything is happening here. Thoughts going on at the top, but you're not maintaining some groundedness, which is so important at the moment. So I hope this can be of help to you, and happy breathing.